Good day, everyone. So, let's try to solve the five problem says using the first derivative. So, here's the problem number 1. What is the first derivative of y is equal to sine squared times x squared plus 1? So, here's the solution. The derivative of y is equal dy over dx times 2 times sine times x squared plus 1 close parenthesis and raised to 2. So the derivative of y, it becomes the y prime equals the derivative of this value, which is 2 times 2 sine times x squared plus 1 times cosine times x squared plus 1 times 2x. So now that we have already derived our equation or problems, or problem, right? We can now simplify the 2 times 2 sine times 2x is equals the derivative, the prime y is equal 8x times sine times x squared plus 1 times cosine times x squared plus 1. So here's the final answer. So the derivative of our problem number 1 is the y prime is equal 8x times sine times x squared plus 1 times cosine times x squared plus 1. So let's proceed for our problem number 2. What is the first derivative of y is equal to cosine times 2 times 3 cubed? So here's the solution. The derivative of y is equal dy over dx times 2 cosine times 2 plus x cubed. So again, the derivative of y, it becomes the prime y equals the derivative of this value, which is 2 times negative sine times 2 plus x cubed times 3x squared. So now that we have already derived our equations, so the prime y is equal, the 2 times negative sine times 3x squared is equal, the y prime is equal negative 6x squared times sine times 2 plus x cubed. So therefore our the derivative of our problem number 2, which is the prime y is equal negative 6x squared times sine times 2 plus x cubed. Problem number 3. What is the first derivative of y is equal to tangent times 1 plus x cubed? So here's our solution. Again, we're using the first derivative. So dy over dx times y is equal dy over dx times 2 tangent times 1 plus x cubed. So the derivative of y, it becomes the prime y then equal the derivative of this value, which is 2 second squared times 1 plus x cubed times 3x cubed. So 2 2 times second squared times 3x cubed, it becomes the y prime is equal 6x squared times second squared times 1 plus x cubed. So our the derivative of our problem number 3 is equal, the y prime is equal 6x squared times second squared times 1 plus x cubed, sorry. Problem number 4. What is the first derivative of y is equal to second times x squared plus 1? So again, here's our solution. The derivative of y, or dy over dx times y, is equal dy over dx times 2 second times x squared plus 1. So the derivative of y, it becomes the prime y is equal the derivative of this value, which is 2 second times x squared plus 1 times tangent times x squared plus 1 times 2x. So 2 second times 2 squared. Therefore 4x 4x second times x squared plus 1 times tangent times x squared plus 1. So it's almost same, of course, because we're using the first derivative. So therefore our the derivative of our problem number 4 is the prime y is equal 4x second times second times x squared plus 1 times tangent times x squared plus 1. Problem number 5, the last problem. The last question. So what is the first derivative of y is equal tangent squared times x squared plus 1? So here's the solution. So the derivative of y is equal dy over dx times tangent squared times x squared plus 1. So we can write this equation as the derivative of y is equal dy over dx times tangent times x squared plus 1 raised to 2. So the y prime is equal, using power rule, so we bring down the sign, to the exponent of 2. So the exponent will be minus, so the exponent will become 1. So let's write it down. So the y prime is equal 2 tangent times x squared plus 1 times second squared times x squared plus 1 times 2 squared. So the 2 tangent times 2 squared, it becomes